to Brian's Beat. Join the show by calling 508-996-0500. New Bedford's news talk station, 1420 WBSM.
Who's that girl? What's her name? Is she cool? Is she lame? Oh, you're talking about what's her name? Bedford. Is she lame? Is she cool? Is she breaking every rule? Is she anybody's fool? Bedford, marching in her own parade. Bedford, she's like one in a million. Bedford, much too cool for 7th grade. Catch her if you can, Bedford.
Hour 2 of Brian's Beat, Saturday morning. Sunshine, cartoons, all kinds of frolicking and fun, crises, etc., etc. If you didn't hear at the beginning, we did have a caller who said he was coming up from Bourne, and he didn't know about the boil water order. There is one in effect because E. coli was found in the system. So be careful. You can find out information about this at WBSM.com. Today is the sales tax holiday. Day 1, day 2 is tomorrow. A lot of the things that people go to buy on this particular date is going to be sales tax free anyway. Groceries, clothing, back to school stuff. It's National Garage Sale Day. So you're not paying a tax at a garage sale, are you? That would be, talk about a scam. Yeah, that'll be $3 plus tax. No, I don't see that happening. At any rate, there is no tax break today on meals. If you buy a motorboat, if you buy a car, truck, telecommunication services. I don't know if that means buying a cell phone or paying your cell phone bill. Either way, you're going to get taxed. Gas, steam, electricity. You're still going to pay the tax. Tobacco products. Jeez, they even tax if you want to kill yourself. Marijuana byproducts like cookies and gummies and stuff like that. Go to the liquor store, you're still going to pay the tax. And any single item that costs more than $2,500. So we got into that sales tax holiday. Are you going to take advantage of it or maybe not? The other thing that we got into during hour number 1 is what happened at Knuckleheads. The bar. A lot of bikers go to Knuckleheads. A lot of other people. I've gone there a couple of times. It's not my favorite restaurant. But I understand its popularity. Well, the other day, a male patron left as a tip 3 scratcher tickets. One of the tickets was a dud, not a winner. Another one of the tickets was a $100 winner. And a third ticket, a $10,000 winner. I can only imagine the faces of these 2 female bartenders when they even the $100 ticket. I mean that's okay. That's an extra $50. Chances are you didn't have too many patrons leaving you a $50 tip. But then when you get the $10,000 ticket, your face lights up like a Christmas tree. You're sparkling all over the place. And the 2 women, I wish I was there. I wish one or both were listening to the show because I would have so many questions for them. Like, so which one of you scratched and why'd you tell the other one about the ticket? That kind of stuff. different things just to fun, because I'm an inquiring type of person. But the women have decided that they're going to split the winnings and give some to the person who gave them the tickets. And I will agree with a previous caller. They must know who the person is, because if you didn't know who the person, how would you know that that person is ever going to come back to the bar in order to collect? And there must have been some type of communication, whether or not the patron left a monetary tip or not. Oh, yeah, here are 3 tickets. I mean, think about that. How many folks are now thinking, well, maybe I'll leave a scratcher ticket or 2 or 3 for the person who served me? And here's another way of looking at that. So 3 scratcher tickets equates to $3. Now, depending on how much the patron spent, $3.15, maybe say 20%. So every dollar is worth 5. So, you could easily spend $15 for a quick lunch, $15 only on drinks. And, here are 3 lottery tickets for a tip. And that would equate to the $3 that you would have left otherwise. How much, if you're these bartenders, how much are you going to leave or give to this guy as giving him a cut of the action? And I'm looking at it the same way that they would normally get a cut of the action, either 15 or 20%. It's a tip. Hey, here's your, let's say 20% for the sake of conversation. After the taxes and whatnot, here's your 20%. Not bad. Not a bad deal at all. 508-9960-500. That's how you get on Brian's Beat today. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Brian.
Yes, no, the other day you mentioned that you were going to discuss whether or not the invaders should get work permits,
Yeah, I was going to get into that after this, but go ahead, start me off.
Okay, no, I was just, I figured I would jump in, but I mean...
Don't jump.
What happens if these people get into jobs that do not have enough money to take care of themselves? Do they still continue to get welfare benefits?
I suppose I don't like the welfare, you know that, okay? But I suppose it would be means tested. If you end up working McDonald's, you only get 20 hours, and then the state is going to compensate for what you're missing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I find it problematic because what we're doing is we're overloading the labor end. We're putting too many workers out there, which means even American citizens now have to contend with these extra workers, and of course the wages will be kept purposely low. So,
don't they still have to be minimum wage, don't they?
Yeah, but that's just a fantasy. I mean, as compared to inflation,
of course,
wage
you're right. Yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is then it appears that the American citizens will be at a disadvantage because the illegals will continue to get some sort of assistance while American citizens will not.
Well, I would disagree with that because American citizens also get the same assistance if they don't make X amount of dollars.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, though, if the illegal aliens get a little better benefits.
Well, I would hope not, but, this is government talk, and who knows what they're going to do. But here's the thing. We have employers screaming for employees right now.
Correct.
And they still have to wait for some type of authorization for these folks to be able to come and work. But that work order has been put out by the Healy administration, should have been put out by the Baker administration. In fact, it should just be anybody can get a job just like you and I can get a job. They're here. You're not kicking them out. So now they got to fend for themselves. Let them do it.
Yeah, well, again, though, I mean, it appears then that they should then be able to bring in extra relatives in that, which is a foregone conclusion that things will never get better. I was just reading recently where the poverty rate in Mexico has decreased from 50% down to about 46 or 5% because of remittances or money sent from the United States to Mexico, because the people who are here in the United States who are Mexican have more than enough money to send back to Mexico.
And
that means then it appears that they're getting too much money here and they're able to send it back while still living comfortably here in the United States. That's a problem with me.
Okay, I cut you off. Go ahead and explain why that's a problem with you.
Because taxpayers' money, which could remain in the hands of the taxpayers, is now being redistributed to Mexico. Okay, go ahead.
So that's a little confusing. I think they're sending money back. Oh, so your thought process is they're still getting money from the government while also making money while they're here.
Yes. Do you recall, I don't know how old you are, do you recall that every city and town had a welfare officer?
No, I don't.
Yes. I've looked this up, even in Stoughton. There used to be welfare officers back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And let's say that, you're a decent person, you didn't have enough insurance to cover it, you were in an accident or a victim or something like that. The welfare officer would come down to your house, check you out, and if you needed money, they would give you money. If you owned the house, they would put a lien on the house to be repaid the money that the welfare officer from your city or town was sharing with you. If you were a drunkard or something like that, they might cover the cost of food, but they wouldn't give you so much money that you could have entertainment. Believe it or not, Brian, people used to hide their radio because if the welfare officer saw that you had a radio, that means you had too much money. But yes, there used to be welfare officers in every city and town, but then in the 60s, Brian, all of these disappeared under the Great Society of LBJ and the War on Poverty, redistribution of taxpayer money.
Well, my angle to that, plus the other thing that you brought up, is we don't give out these benefits. If we stop giving them that way, if folks make money and they want to send money back home to family, that's their own money. They can do whatever they want to do with it. But they should not be able to do that with taxpayer funds.
Correct. And I'll leave you with this last point. The war on poverty has been going on for 60 years now. But, LBJ had a choice. He could either redistribute taxpayer money, take it away from people who earned it, or he could have cut taxes to people who were poor so they could prosper. Which one did he do?
He did the one that also helped his war effort, too.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. So, and when Governor Healy admitted that there's a crisis that she created by inviting people here, we realized that we're doomed. We've gone over the cliff, Brian. There's no coming back from this.
I wonder, you're right. She did say that. I wonder if that was a slip up, which I find politicians only slip up really when they want to, or if it's just something that she intentionally put out there.
No, I mean, this right to housing, the government cannot create rights. How is it a right, Brian, that the Great and General Court says that I can take money from you to give to somebody else because you don't have a right to the money that you've earned because we've created this greater right to help people that need housing? My mind gets stuck on that one.
Big time. Hey, thanks for the call. I do appreciate it. 508-996-0500. Thank you for your patience. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. I'll just piggyback a little bit on what this gentleman just said and then tell you what I really called about. It is true that back in the 60s and before, that each town had its own welfare department. They didn't call it that, and it was very inequitable. And then the welfare rights organizations around the country, or at least here in this area, they began to organize people and people who had needs. And then the change was made because it was a dramatic effort. in New Bedford and some other communities in Massachusetts where they descended upon welfare organizations, offices, and change came about because there was so much inequity. So that's just a little bit of what went on back then. But I'm calling about, today is the Onset Cape Verdean Festival from 12 to 6. And I don't know if they've advertised or announced it at any time, but about 10,000 people will descend upon the area from all around the country.
How many?
10,000.
Really?
10,000. Yeah. It's a huge, you've never been?
Is this isn't the parade that goes marching downtown, is it?
No.
That
This
happened
is
back in July.
No. This is right on the bluffs where there are 80 vendors, 20 food trucks, and music, and just people come from all. It's like a huge Cape Verdean family reunion. It's been going on for 20 years maybe.
Wow.
And during the COVID, of course, there was none, and they did a smaller version last year, but this year they're full bore. But it's an awesome activity event. And there are shuttle buses. There's parking at $10 at Lopes Field and at Heinz Field, and they will shuttle you up to the bluff. So it's quite an event. Quite an event.
You're going?
Yes, I'll pop in for a bit. I have to have a couple of other things to do as well. But it's right up the street from my church. And so actually we take advantage and have an opportunity to do some outreach.
Where do you live?
I live in Marion. My church is
okay.
Right
all right.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're expecting 10,000 people from all over the country, huh?
Every year, yes. It's huge for, again.
Kind of like a mini feast.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And I have to check with them. I don't know if they've ever advertised or announced it on BSM, but
first I've heard of it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I never knew that the event existed. I'm thinking you're talking about the parade that I knew about, but that parade happens around 4th of July, and now you're telling me about an entirely different event in down in Wareham, basically.
Absolutely. Right in Onset Center, right on the bluffs overlooking the water.
Huh. Great view. Don't fall in.
No. All right. Have a great rest of the weekend. God bless you.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. 508-996-0500. So this is, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Day 5 of the declared state of emergency. Welcome back to Brian's Beat. So it happened, I think, on Tuesday. Governor Healy, and I'm still having a hard time saying that name, Governor Healy. But she made an announcement. In fact, I heard it listening to the radio that it was going to be an announcement that the governor was going to make. I think, was it Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday. Because I worked for Barry on Monday. So I was listening Tuesday that this state of emergency was going to be happening. And I thought, really? Well, why? That was my thought. Why are we going down this particular road? The release from the Healy administration. So understand this is their thought process. They're calling for the federal government to expedite funding and work authorizations, and also to give a little bit extra to the Migrant Families Relief Fund that was set up by the United Way to support new arrivals and additional ways to help folks out. There are nearly 5,600 families, 20,000 individuals in state shelter in the Commonwealth right now. That's up from about 3,100. According to Governor Healy, she wants the federal government to take urgent action to streamline and expedite work authorizations. You know, again, I guess we're getting mega mixed messages here. Now, you've listened to me enough times, you know that I'm for letting these people, if I can use that term and not be labeled, the opportunity to work, and at the same time take away the incentive for people that may want to come here to live off the dole by not offering benefits, by not just letting people into the schools, by not just giving people emergency shelter. I don't know which administration, which Beacon Hill lawmaker group passed this ruling that said that, well, we have to provide shelter. Is that something that you as a voter were asked? Is a better way of saying that is there something, a measure? If there are any attorneys out there listening right now, is there a chance to get a ballot question that states that this emergency shelter, if folks come here, we have to provide emergency shelter for them? Could we do a ballot? More importantly, if we were to do a ballot question like that, would it pass? My guess is it wouldn't. And if the ballot question doesn't pass, then how are you feeling as a resident citizen of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? I think that this is where the rubber is going to meet the road. We need to take the incentive for folks out, as in welfare and food stamps and whatnot, and say, you got to fend for yourself. You can come here, find an employer. There are plenty of employers looking right now. And for whatever, say they give you minimum wage, now that also gives the employer an incentive the next time they want to hire somebody that may come here illegally, or, and I'm sorry for the person that's living here that may just be starting out, but now you're going to have to meet that particular expectation of the person that snuck into the country. But that's what this country was built on. It's built on competition. And if we take the incentives, when I say the government incentives, let me be more specific. We want the private incentives to be out there. But if we take government incentives for people to come here, then as a previous caller stated, you don't have to worry about people having so much money that they're sending money home. Let them send money home if they have enough that they're making to send home. But they shouldn't be giving some type of housing or government check to also coincide with the check that they're making from an employer so they have enough money to then turn around and send home. If you couldn't do it for your own family, why should somebody else that came here illegally be able to do it? 508-996-0500. Hello. Hello. Hi, Brian.
I think the reason they can send money home is because they're working under the table at the same time getting all those benefits.
Could be.
And two is, it absolutely is. And then the other thing is too is that all of this is just to keep people working for the government, state, local government, keep them employed.
You're talking about the welfare workers and whatnot.
Yeah, they have paper pushers, push.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's big business and pushing paper around and things of this nature. It takes a life of its own right there. And then you guys have a great day.
Well, I appreciate the call. To the caller's point, I can understand why many employers hire folks under the table. They could still be paying them minimum wage, maybe a little bit more money. But they don't have to put up with a whole bunch of the other bennies that folks get. Look, it's tight times for employers. Now, I know there are organizations out there and saying, well, these employers don't pay their fair share. When you're in the employer's shoes, then I say you can do some talking. But for many employers, they're barely making it by. They ran out of the PPP money, which they shouldn't have gotten in the first place. We take care of banks, too good to fail banks. But this whole idea of giving resources, let's say, resources to people who have somehow made it across the border illegally and have made their way to Massachusetts because you can shelter here. I don't go for that. Look, if there's a place that they can pay rent, that's fine by me. It looks to me like Honeydew, McDonald's, Burger King. Yeah, I know these are fast food joints. I know these are places that don't pay a heck of a lot of money, but it is a job. I note when I used to go to court, when I was taking a tenant to court, a judge would say to the tenant who was a legal resident of the Commonwealth and the country, and the person say who wasn't working, well, the judge would say, look, get a job anywhere, Burger King, McDonald's. You know, that's, if it's good enough for people that live here in the country, then don't you think it should be good enough for folks that don't live here in the country? A good place to start, and who knows where you go from there. 508-996-0500. That's how you get onto the program today. Quote of the day. The quote of the day. It comes from Thomas Smith. No one in the world needs an elephant tusk but an elephant. So why am I using that one? Where did it come from? Well, I told you it came from Thomas Smith. Why? Today is World Elephant Day. World Elephant Day. So that's where it comes from. All right, let's find out where you're coming from. Let's hear from you. Hello. Yes?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would just like to let everybody know, because I'm better off than most people.
Okay, what do you want to let us know?
Closed. Ain't putting nobody on yachts, and we ain't putting nobody on golf courses. Those things are, we got more golf courses and yachts than we had 2 years ago before COVID. So don't worry about that part of the economy. The part of the economy you got to worry about is this tin cup stuff. Hey, we need money from the government. Hey, we wanted to be a state, a sanctuary state, and we did it. We wanted to be sanctuary cities, and we did it. Okay? We did it. And, and now we got to either step it up or step it out.
Well, I don't think we're a sanctuary state. We didn't vote to do that.
Well, we are now, whether we like it or not.
Well, I think that we should make it official. I think we should make it official. Let the people vote on something like this. Let's see.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking good government. You're not talking politics.
Look, I brought this up several times. I can't expect you to hear every minute of every show, but I brought this up last week, and and I will continue to bring it up, because if people don't vote on it, then we don't really get a gauge of how folks really feel here in the Commonwealth. We took a vote on driver's licenses, and it won. I didn't vote for it because I don't think anybody needs a driver's license, but be that as it may, it won. So that's where we are at this particular time. Let's vote on sanctuary statehood.
Brian, I appreciate it, because what you've done right now is you have engaged everyone. Not anybody 21 and older that can vote. You engage everyone. So that when the baton gets passed off to the generations, that these children that heard what you said, good government, you're not even talking politics, they might have a clue with what they want to do as adults and how to handle social issues. They're very important issues like this, especially with education and health that's involved with the infrastructure of the state. But it seems to me the politicians are very exclusive, and they just keep pointing to the dollar, the money. And it's not about the money. It's about a plan that absorbs people in because you invited them in. That's why.
Well, they're here now. I'm going to take this to another level, if you don't mind, and I'm going to start with you. So there's a vote on sanctuary statehood, and the people vote that they do not want to become a sanctuary state. Now what do we do with the people that are here?
Well, it's like snapping your fingers. It's Moses parted the Red Sea. Can we do the same politically? Can we do the same for the people? That hunger's going to stop because we change the law? The needs are going to decrease because we change the law? All we do when we change the law is change the funneling of money and the way we apply the money and who we put the money's hand, who gets their hands on the money to distribute it. And that's the whole thing. If Moses could come here and part the ocean, we wouldn't need Cape Cod Canal. He'd do all it for us. But the thing I'm getting at, to answer your question, without going off on a tirade, is that it all starts with New Bedford and Bristol County, Taunton, Fall River. We got to get some leadership here. And then publicly, not behind closed doors, and petition it on Capitol. Right now, we're in an emergency situation. We should be in an emergency session if we should be, but we're not. All the politicians up there, the 160 seats in the House of Representatives and the 40 seats in the Senate should all be occupied today. I don't care if we give them, a food service or whatever. They should be in there right now, and they should be discussing a $45 million bill a month, or $10 million plus a week situation that we have exposed, And we need every representative to take a roll call, and every senator to take a roll call vote and put themselves on record as to what they're going to provide to this situation until federal help comes.
I like that, man. Thank you. I do appreciate the call. Let us continue. 508-996-0500. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, didn't you say earlier that they made so much money on marijuana?
136 mil.
136.
1 month.
Okay, in 1 month. Don't you think they could put that to, if they wanted to help some of these migrants that are coming over? And couldn't they pass a bottle bill to add another 5 cents and then have more money for the people coming over? And I think they got a surplus in the budget, as well, but they want to keep that to keep their bond rating up. So when is it ever enough? It
never is.
I know, that's the problem.
Now you get money from the federal government. Now, don't you think that if I'm the federal government and I'm not, there's always going to be strings attached to whatever funding that you're going to get. This is an emergency relief ban. Well, if this were the Trump administration, just saying, they wouldn't be able to get money for the illegals that are now migrating into Massachusetts. But maybe they get money from the Biden administration. But even if they get money from the Biden administration, there are going to be strings attached.
Well, they say that she's looking to access FEMA. FEMA will give them money if I was Joe Biden, I'd give him nothing because she proclaimed this to be a place to come to. She was down there and everything. Hey, you made your soup, now eat it, that sort of stuff, what can I say, hey. And again, there is money around, but they don't want to use it. They want you to give more. Yeah, it's a good thing we're not France. France, when they do things, against what the people want, they riot in the streets, like trying to bring up the retirement age and everything. They go crazy. I guess it's because they're related to the people that started the French Revolution, and we're not, that sort of stuff. But
well, I think France is going through a lot right now with what's going on in Niger, too.
I'm sure they are. But just like our revolution, John Adams said, 1/3 wanted it, 1/3 didn't want it, and 1/3 didn't care. So maybe that's the different, backgrounds we come from.
Well, I think we have the same thing going on right now. How many people show up to vote?
Well, again, when you show up to vote and nothing changes, it's like that lady that tried to get the limitation on whether you believe it or not, terms. 2,700 people, and everybody who's in office doesn't want it. They're afraid they're not going to get voted back in. I think they got their base of people that'll get voted back in. So it seems when you try to do something from the grassroots, it gets shut down. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Okay, keep winging and wanging.
I shall. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a great one.
You too.
Let us continue. Hello.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
You had no news on at 8:05, so I'm just wondering, where do we have to boil our water?
Great question. If you are in Bourne has a water advisory right now because of E. coli.
Just Bourne.
Just Bourne, to the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay, that wasn't clear. I did not understand fully. You've answered my question, Brian.
Well, you asked it.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you for the call. Let me just repeat. Thank you for bringing it up. E. coli was found in the water in Bourne. And so the town of Bourne has issued a boil water advisory. And basically it is the E. coli was found on the Cape Cod side of Bourne, not on the mainland side. But at any rate, folks are told to either drink bottled water, or if they have to drink tap water, then to boil that water first, a roaring boil for a minimum of 1 minute, let it cool down before you drink it. They also say in this advisory from the Bourne Water Department that it's okay to use the E. coli laced water to feed your plants and your garden. And I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. Why would I want to put that in my garden? Something just doesn't seem right. If I put E. coli in my garden, then isn't it possible that the E. coli can get on my lettuce, on my tomatoes, on my carrots, on my zucchini, on my summer squash? I was just looking at WBSM.com in our app. We've got this app chat, couple of messages. Why is the mayor turning down over $300,000 per year for nip and trash pickups? That's from Polly. And then maybe the city of New Bedford should build a police headquarters where the building 19 was. Little off topic, but they're out there. They're out there somewhere for you. Hello. Yes.
Hello. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
This is Sam.
Hey, Sam.
How are you?
Sam the Check Man?
Sam, no, I joke with a couple of the other hosts about being the unofficial co-host of their shows.
Sam the Check Man. You're Sam the Check Man to me.
Sam the Check Man today. That'd be good.
Yep. Don't let it bounce.
With the lottery, have you ever noticed on the back of the tickets that the payout is only 50% of the proceeds taken in? So if you've got $1 million jackpot, they've taken in $2 million, and they pay out about 50%. So at the time of their drawing, they've got that cash on hand. And then when they pay it, they give you 50% of that amount. And then on top of that, you have to pay your taxes and whatever else. So
I didn't notice that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of difference. I think about these huge jackpots with the Mega Millions and the Powerball being so high that It must be.
So did anybody ever win that, the big something that's 1.5 billion, whether
Yes,
it's Mega
it was.
Million or Powerball? Somebody did?
Yeah, that was the Mega Millions. There was one jackpot winner in Florida. The name of the town's
No
escaping me, but-
no state tax there.
Yeah, I know. How lucky, huh?
Mm.
But yeah, there was one there, and there was like $2 million winners, and then there was 5, I think, $1 million winners. But I do have a quick question about
that 10,000 scratcher means nothing compared to what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I've played with the scratchers over the years, and they are really not paying out like they used to. It used to be if you bought a strip of 5 tickets, you almost always won something, and now you could buy 20, and you're lucky if you get a quarter of the amount back. What's the questions about the pharmacy that you keep bringing up? Is there something behind all that?
I think there is. We're all waiting to find out.
No, I'm talking about you when you.
Yes, we're all waiting to find out.
I'm lost. I don't follow. What's the topic about?
It's asking a question about what your 2 biggest problems are. Nobody's answered it yet. I'm waiting for people to answer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, I've been kind of picking up on it for the last couple of weeks, and I was wondering whether you were looking for answers or whether you were just kind of tossing it out there, or whether there was some kind of bill or something in the government that was being, brought up on the topic.
No, to the best of my knowledge, there is no type of bill.
Yeah.
But thank you. I want to get to another caller before I got to go.
Sounds good.
But I do appreciate it. By the way, Pittman is up after my show today. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You were talking earlier in your show about the record that really you enjoyed and you purchased.
Yes.
What was the name of that record?
It was the first by The Doors, featuring Light My Fire, Soul Kitchen.
Yeah, that was a good one.
One of the best. In fact, I believe, Light My Fire was Song of the Year in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
It was the number 3 song of the 70s.
I agree.
Excuse me, of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And it also made the century list.
Yep. My favorite song that really probably kicked off my life, and as far as in the business world goes, was Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett. It was probably about 74 years ago. It was his second big hit. It went like something like this. Must I ever be a beggar, or shall I go from rags to riches? That was his second biggest hit. I played that record over and over. I was 15, and I was poor as dirt. And I said to myself, I'm going to go from rags to riches. And I played that record till I wore it out completely.
So when did it come out?
What?
Do you remember what year it came out?
No, but I was 15 and I'm 86. So.
Wow.
Anyway, I've done well. And I was wondering if you could play that record.
I wouldn't even know where to find it.
Okay. All right.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Talk about the scratch tickets a little bit?
Quickly, yes.
Okay. We used to go to Lindsay's in Buzzards Bay or Wareham or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Lindsay's restaurant.
Wareham, yes.
And we'd always sit on the bar side because they always had all the TVs going and sports and all that kind of stuff. They even had a cage where a woman sat there and sold tickets and different things like that. I said to her one day, does anybody hit for anything serious? Oh, yeah, she says. One time, about 3 months ago, somebody hit for $500. I'm saying, I'm throwing $20 bills on $20 tickets at the time. And so I never played it again.
Well, I don't blame you. Got to let you go, though, because I got to wrap up my show today.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the call. Thank you. In fact, all of the calls today. Really enjoyed it. We will do it again on Tuesday and Wednesday because I'll be filling in for Barry those 2 days. And then, of course, we'll be back again the following Saturday right here on Brian's Beat on WBSM. Ken Pittman is up next. Adios.